From pioneering logistics in India to building a global multimodal giant, he has been at it for close to 2 decades. We have with us today Mr. Shashi Kiran Shetty, Chairman, Allcargo Group, to talk about his entrepreneurial journey, how Allcargo is transforming into a global giant, and the global supply chain scenario at the moment. Mr. Shetty, good to have you with us. Let's start with the first question. Tell us about the inception journey of Allcargo. What was the entrepreneurial thought behind it, and how did you start the company?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this talk. So it's a long back. I'm an entrepreneur now for over 40 years. I started after working 4 years for a shipping agency company in the city of Mumbai as an operational executive. Gone into transportation business in the port of Mumbai with $1,000 as a capital. And the idea was to provide efficiency for the shipping lines to discharge their cargo in the ports and load the cargo in the port, both containers and break bulk cargo. That was how the business started. I was 25-year-old at that time. And that became quite a successful business. Then I started buying some equipment, cranes, trailers, forklifts, etc. Built that business over the next 10 years, made it profitable, and bought myself a house, got myself married, discharged family responsibilities. And I was always very friendly and in a way, in my own way, I was always very innovative, curious, have very sharp ideas about what's going on around the world. I was reading a lot about shipping as a business, and I loved to get into shipping business from a transportation business. Shipping is at that time was very, how would I say it?
Controlled.
No, not controlled. It was very glamorous, right? Because ships are, you call ships the sea, and the ocean and the international law, international trade, and traveling to different parts of the world and meeting different types of people around the world was fascinating for me. So that's how I wanted to get into shipping business, and I got the opportunity to start what we call as a non-vessel owning common carrier, which means we operate like a shipping line, but without owning any asset. That is the model that I found as an opportunity to start after in the business for about 10 years. So I founded it as a separate entity, not as the previous. The previous one is called Trans India Freight Services, and I don't want to carry India because then it restricts you to India. So the name was founded as Allcargo Global. So that was the name that was given, and started that venture. Started the first office in a very small place in the congested area of Mumbai, and with about 10 odd people, few youngsters, and few other people who are in the area of accounting and stuff like that. Business became successful because there was a need for somebody to take over the less than container load consolidation business, which was done by the large shipping lines. It was not their core because their focus was to fill the ship, and our focus is to fill the container, to maximize the space. They want to maximize space in the ship, and we want to maximize space in a container because we buy a container space and then charge, for smaller parcels, consolidate, and what we charge is more than what we pay the shipping line. So those days the margins were very good. Margins could have been as high as 100%. So business prospered from Mumbai port. Then the Nhava Sheva port was starting. So we moved into Nhava Sheva port, took a warehouse there, started consolidation work there. Then after 2 years, the entire Mumbai operation also got shifted to Nhava Sheva because Mumbai reduced its container traffic because of the congestion in the city and all that. So that became very successful. And in parallel, started also office in Delhi. Delhi is my second office. Then Chennai, the third office. Then we moved to Calcutta. Then went all hinterland like Ludhiana, Kanpur, Jaipur, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Cochin. Cochin is not a hinterland, but we opened about 18 offices in about 3 years. So became by far the market leader in LCL consolidation business in India, and very profitable. With that, I also got an idea that why don't we start a container freight station instead of using the public warehouse. So that idea came about, and then we started looking for space to build a container freight station. So in those days, the container freight station land was allotted by the government authorities, and that land cost was very high, and they would not allot you land unless they come out with the tender as in when they feel is the right time. So we had no time to wait. So we decided to look out for land outside their jurisdiction. So fortunately, I found some land, which is maybe 20,000 acres of farmland. So we went and bought 10 acres in the middle of the farmland. So that's where we put up the first container freight station. And fortunately, the customs approved it. There is a long story behind all that, to how the financing of it and convincing customers to come there, etc. A lot of work went behind it. Set up a separate team of people for that, and built the first container freight station. And it so happened that Navashiva port used to be very badly congested in those days. So every container the port was asking me to move it to the freight stations. So business blossomed overnight. And in that area, the Reliance wanted to build a special economic zone. So they were buying all the land there. So for almost about 8-10 years, not many other people could come to set up the container freight station, which also helped us. So that business became very successful. My transportation business was going well. The NVOCC business was going well. Then the container freight station started doing well. And with that container freight station success, we then decided to move into other parts of the country. The second one we set up in Chennai, just about 10 kilometers from the port, on 25 acres of land. Then did a joint venture with Concor in Dadri in Delhi. Then we set up Mundra, was emerging as a new port. So we set up in Mundra. Then we took land from Kolkata port, 15 odd acres. Then we built a CFS there. So we became a market leader in the container freight station business also. So all this were happening, and Indian market was at that time opening up for capital market. So a lot of interest from private equity to invest in good logistics companies. So they didn't find any good companies per se in those days. So there was a very renowned fund from America. So they decided to buy with us, stake in our company. And that was a time, the valuation was quite attractive. And I decided to sell 6% of my shares to the private equity and use that money to acquire our international partner in Belgium. They were for sale for some reason, right? So I don't want to buy them out. I decided to buy only 33% and took a right to have two rights basically. One is to nominate our CFO in Belgium, and second, that I had a right to go up to 50%. I wanted to test the water. I wanted to understand the nuances of running a global company, and they were already spread out around the world. They were our principals actually. So I took that because they were pretty desperate. So I bought 33. After 1 year, exercised the right to go up to 50. I sent someone from India to become a CFO of that company. So he went and lived in Belgium for 3 years. So we got a full grip over the company, understand what the issues are. So it was a turnaround story. The company would have gone bankrupt if we were not to acquire it, or a competitor would have acquired, their competitor globally would have acquired and done with it. So it took me next 10, 12 years to turn that company around, make it a global enterprise. They were strong in America, they were in Asia, but they had no presence in America, no presence in China. Sorry, Asia, they were there, but not in China. So we had partners in China, partners in America. So we one by one acquired the partners in China, partners in America, and then went into some of the other geographies where there was no own offices. So became a global enterprise. So then the opportunity came to leverage the less than container load business to also look into full container load and air freight business globally. We set up a separate team to develop the full container load business. So now we are among the top 20 logistics companies in the world in terms of volume. Of course, there is a huge difference between where we are and where some of the big players like DSV and DHL are. There's a big gap, but they're also our customers. We have to play a little bit of a very nuanced game, right? So we can't be seen as a competitor, but we operate with the small to medium shippers.
Also acquired Gati
Yes.
some time back.
Correct.
How has that acquisition panned out?
Yes.
How is it helping you now?
Yeah. One of the most important thing in my journey is about setting up the right kind of a leadership team, internally promoted along with the company. As the company grew, there are a lot of people within the company, family members and professionals have grown within the organization. And running a global enterprise is not as simple and easy as it looks. Right?
And not as glamorous as you thought?
No, definitely not. It is glamorous in the beginning. Then when the rubber hits the road, then the experience is very different. The cultural part, the motivation, how to motivate different cultures, how to create a fun at workplace, and how to transform as life changes, technology interventions, discipline, financial controls, human resource management. Those are vast subjects, but we've been able to build all that. May not be to the best of best, but it's in a way it keeps the company sustained. And we did have a part of surprises, many surprises along the way, but we kept on fixing it, kept on improving on it, kept on bringing new professionals, more skills, and more younger generation to lead for the future, etc. Coming to your question about Gati acquisition, it made sense because what Gati does domestically is exactly what we do internationally. Ours is more in shipping, but this is more by road. And Gati is again a turnaround story because the company was in quite a bit of a debt and liabilities and low margins, etc. The low margin part has not changed, but the debt and the liability part is now completely done with. When we acquired the company, it had a liability and debt of close to about 600 crore, which has come to zero. But there are a lot of properties in the company. Tax issues were there, and we've been able to settle that with the government in the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. So we, as a matter of fact, got a refund instead of a liability. So that helped great deal to bring the liability to the company. We had properties, unnecessary properties sitting all over the country. That was one attraction also why we acquired. So then we sold almost every property. We changed many of the distribution centers to right locations, right size, and modern facilities. We built new IT system in the company, downsized and made the workforce more efficient. But it is still work in progress. It took much longer than what we anticipated, but it's a good, solid company, among the top 3 in the country in the express side. And we also have a supply chain company, that's what we call as contract logistics. Now we are merging those two businesses together. So there is a greater synergy among them. And there's a greater degree of a customer stickiness when you offer end-to-end services. So that is now, I'll come to the restructuring part, but that's how the future of that business looks for India. It is completely oriented towards Indian economy, Indian growth, and to Indian customers and multinational customers who operate in India. In the future, we can take that business, that model to other parts of the world, particularly the developing economies. In the developed economies, to establish something like that will be very hard because you have to invest, millions of dollars to build a network and build that kind of a volume. Why would somebody move from, say, DHL to us? So it will be very hard to compete because we will not have a service. We will not have a base load. So without base load, you're dead. You're losing money. If you look at the new age startup company, why are they losing money in logistics? Because they don't have a base load. They carry half truck. They carry anyhow at a low cost and make losses, and investors fund it. Right? So we can't end up in that scenario.
So when you started off, you had global ambitions right from the very start.
Yeah.
You are a global player now.
Yes.
But what to take to move up the value chain? You talked about a DHA and a DS. What would it take for an Indian company to keep moving up the value chain?
No, I think it's grabbing the opportunity and having that financial strength and discipline, courage, and also building the right kind of a team and culture in the company. Because Indian culture itself may not work. It has to be you have to mix your culture. So, you're wearing multiple hats on the same day when you talk to Chinese, to Americans, to German, right? Or a Middle Eastern. So that multi cultural dimension is very, very important. And you have to have an investment mindset. You may not be able to get the returns immediately. You'll have to really, sweat it out there, because there will always be an established player against who you're competing. So what is that special that you're going to do? So one good way to do it is for Indian companies is to partner with the Indian manufacturers who wants to go international to manufacture. So if you look at the German forwarding business or American forwarding business, grew on the back of a German manufacturer going to manufacture in America or manufacture in China. So they take into the domestic forwarder to support them in China and grow with them. So DHL, Kuehne+Nagel, or Schenker, all of them are Germans, right? And the German manufacturing spread across the world. And it is like you're taking a lawyer or a doctor or a health expert with you wherever you go, who you can trust, who you can communicate with, who understands your requirement, who worked with your team. So you're already aligned. So they like to take freight forwarding is a very similar services that you offer to a company. So people don't want to change once they appoint you unless there is a reason for it. So that's the best opportunity for the Indian logistic companies to partner with the Indian manufacturers who they are loyal to, and as they grow, you grow with them.
So how has business been for you last year? How is it looking like this year?
Generally, the India business has been doing well, but overall, the whole logistic industry, because of the competitiveness, the margins are normally very, very low. So we have to grow every year to make up for the competitiveness, and it also very healthy for the company. So it attracts that kind of a talent. So the talent also grows with the company, right? So we going international has benefited a lot of our senior managers, the younger ones. So they went out to become country managers. They went out to become regional heads, CFOs, CHROs. So a lot of people have grown in the system, which is a great attraction, and it creates that employer brand. And and it's a great opportunity for people to experience that. And otherwise, India, you don't find many companies are multinationals. They are very big companies, but they are mostly India, right? So especially in our industry in particular, there are few offices some people have, but truly global, there are not many.
Would you want to put a number on the kind of business that you're doing? Maybe India. I don't know if you segregate according to those numbers, but you want to put some numbers behind what India is doing, what worldwide.
For us,
Yes.
For us as a group, India contribution combined of all businesses in terms of revenue, roughly about 30% and 70% international. And I would say the profitability side, approximately it will be about 50-50.
Right. Last year you did how much? What do you think this year would pan out?
Last year was a very tough year for us, particularly in our global business, due to the geopolitical situation starting from 23 when the Russia-Ukraine war happened. The freight rates have collapsed, and that made a huge impact on our business. And also the spending power of the Western world had dramatically hit because of the high interest cost and the inflation. So 23-24 was not very good year for us. But in terms of absolute number, our top line last year, the financial year, 23-24, is close to about $2 billion. And our bottom line, EBITDA consolidated, would be somewhere in the region about 500 crores. And this year, I think we should end up with somewhere around 2.5 billion to 650 crore combined EBITDA of all the companies. But now our business are also now segregated, right? We are now 4 public companies. We started with one, then we acquired Gati, that is the second. Then we demerged 2 companies from Allcargo Logistics to create 2 new entities called, it's a mirror shareholding. It's a demerge happened with the NCLT approvals and all that. So Allcargo Terminal got founded just about a year ago, and the second company called Trans India Real Estate Limited. And the purpose of these 2 company creation was all our CFS business and inland container depot business. In the future, whatever the new projects we do, a free trade economic zone or a port in the future, all that will happen under Allcargo Terminal. So Trans India Real Estate is a real estate business and an investment business. In that, all our assets, real estate assets, are in Trans India Real Estate, and that develops logistic parks around the country. We acquire large land parcels and acquire them, build our logistic parks, and either keep it and give it on rent or sell the property. We sold about 7 million square feet to Blackstone. We built a 100-acre real estate logistic park in Farooq Nagar, outside Gurgaon. And we built another 100 acres outside Bangalore, near about 10 kilometers from Whitefield. And we built about 40 acres in Hyderabad, and few other smaller warehouses we consolidated and sold it to Blackstone to reduce our debt and to buy Gati at that time. So that transaction happened. Now we have another 127 acres just next to the one we sold in Farooq Nagar. We are looking at developing as a free trade economic zone, which is rail connectable to the DFC, Delhi Mumbai Freight Corridor. We have a relationship, equity relationship with HROCIL, who's building the railway around Delhi. We are an investor in the project. We have a small stake, but with that association, they are giving us access to the Delhi Mumbai Freight Corridor. So that will be a park we're going to develop in the future. And we are also acquiring land in Calcutta, which is almost done, about 40 acres. Bangalore, another 100 acres, about 40 acres in Bangalore near Hoskote. Bhiwandi, we are building a 50-acre park. So all these, plus JNPT, we have already other land which we built some warehouses, which is with the company. So that is the Trans-India real estate business. And now we are also in the middle of one more restructure. That is all our domestic business, that is Gati, express business, and the contract logistic business, that will get merged into our existing main company, Allcargo Logistics. So Allcargo Gati will disappear. Then we form a separate entity called Allcargo Global that will hold all our global business. So that restructuring should complete by middle of August. So say from 1st of September, we'll still have 4 companies, but we'll have Allcargo Global, Allcargo Logistics, which will do the entire domestic business, Allcargo Terminal, which I told you about CFS, and the Trans-India Real Estate, which is a property company. Yeah.
So,
and each one have its own managing directors. They run the business, and each one have an independent board. And the shareholders are, whoever likes whichever business, they churn their stock.
right.
Yeah.
So, what is your vision for the company? You have the global business, you have the Indian business, you have terminals, you have real estate, developing logistics park.
Yes.
Where do you see now Allcargo going in, say, the next 1 year, 5 year, 10 year?
Yes.
You got to get into something like air, for your own ships. You want to have your own containers. What is it that you're looking at?
No, largely we want to play in these 4 sectors, and where we are now sharpened the management, investing in the management, investing in technology to create a market differentiation, and continue to build these businesses with independent board of directors. 2 companies, we have independent chairman also, and build it to last, build it as an institution. And as India grows, these businesses will grow. If India grows at 6.5%, we want to double the growth of GDP, and continue to invest in people and systems and process, and become a financially disciplined, well-governed institution by itself, and sticks to the core, what we're good at, what we know, what is good for the business, good for the stakeholders.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned about talent and how talent within your company has also grown.
Yeah.
You're on the board of IIM Mumbai.
Yeah, and the chairman.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. You're chair of board.
Correct.
How important is the relationship between academia and the industry? Are we developing the right kind of talent when it actually comes to things like logistics?
Yes.
Is what being taught in the classroom relevant to what is needed in the industry?
To be very honest, I'm not an academician, right? So whatever I say, take it on a pinch of salt. I introduce as many industry experts as possible to the institution to build the right kind of a syllabus and right kind of influence, right kind of a connect to the institution from the industry, try and capture what is need to be done, what we can do it better. So it's more strategic direction than deep dive into the institution's day-to-day affairs. I'm not an expert on that. So my network and my wisdom of running a business, what I use there more. So Mumbai used to be called National Institution of Industrial Engineers, which was set up by the Ministry of Education and IMO way back in 1965. And it was directly run by the Ministry of Education for all these years. And the ideology behind it was to create experts in manufacturing and in supply chain. They only accept engineers for post-graduation and PhD. So they were only doing that for all these years. It's a 65-acre campus in the heart of Mumbai, just next to IIT Mumbai. So 1,200 students. And to my surprise, one fine day in the middle of COVID, I heard that I've been appointed as the chairman of the institution of National Institute of Industrial Engineering. So obviously it is run by the Ministry of Education. So there are a lot of, issues got developed over the years, because probably, it's, how it is, right? In public institutions, sometimes if you don't put the focus and attention, because they had so many other things to do, this was kind of a getting the treatment. It was got well funded. It had maintained the standards and all that, but a lot of other things got influenced it in a manner where it could have done far more than what it could have. And so when I became the chairman, I looked at a few things. One, that there are too many board members who are irrelevant, who are politicians and people who are no connection to academia or to industry or anything like that. So board meetings were going all over the place, and board meetings were not also held. So with the intervention of the government and the director, we decided to change the board to bring proper members who contribute to the welfare of the institution. Then we looked at the whole administration and what are the issues surrounded with that. There are a lot of cobwebs, things which had to be changed. I took a lot of action on many things to make everything regularized. Then we also thought that this is such a beautiful campus and capacity is small, and how do we make it an institute of national significance? So we looked at how do we reduce or get autonomy to the institution to the best extent possible. So we looked at options of becoming a part of one of the act passed by the parliament, that is IIT, IIM, and NIIT, right? NIIT was, it was not relevant because it's already an engineering school, and IIT was next door. So the best option was IIM, right? So we looked at that and approached the government that why don't we come under the IIM Act? And Mumbai is commercial capital of the country, and industry is there, and there's not many premier institutions to teach management and other relevant subjects. So that conversation with the government was taken positively, and they appointed a committee of some prominent people, and they also recommended. And then within 1 year of my chairmanship, 1.5 year, it got approved in the parliament, Rajya Sabha, signed by the president. So it came under the IIM Act. So we are privileged to have IIM in Mumbai and 2 IIMs in Maharashtra, only state. IIM Mumbai and IIM Nagpur.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So now in terms of the NIRF ranking in 4 years, it's a dramatic change. It was number 26 or 29 or something. I don't remember exactly. It is right now at number 6 in a matter of 4 years. And the director is an exceptional person, very hardworking, very passionate. We now gave him a second term. His 5 terms are over, which is also very rare. My chairmanship got completed almost a year ago. And the government has, the matter is still in the PMO. So it's over a year now, they're not decided. So I'm continuing as the chairman of the Board of Governors. So we have, we have some very good board members now. We have Mr. Ajay Mehta, who was a BMC Commissioner, Cabinet Secretary Maharashtra, is in the board. We have Upasna Kameni, Apollo, she's in the board. The good alumni are on the board. Mr. Chattopadhyay was the president of manufacturing for Merck Pharma, so he's in the board. So some very decorative members are in the board, and the institution is going well. And most importantly, I'm very proud and happy that the board is approved now to spend about 1,000 crore on developing the whole campus. And over the next 3-4 years, we'll have a capacity going from 1,200 to almost 3,500 to 4,000 students.
Yeah. Last question to you would be, how do you see the global supply chain and the moment working out? And what are your challenges?
Volatility, unpredictability, which no businessman likes. So we are going through a very rough patch in terms of the supply chain, the war, COVID, to our surprise, it is financially benefited, but it left a lot of processes gone off track. Working from home to bring people back to work in the Western world is a huge challenge. It is still a problem. The volatility, I told you that market freight rates collapsed and recovered, again collapsed. So a lot of volatility. Volumes are global trade is not growing as much in the past. Tariff, Mr. Trump is disrupting that part of the volumes. The conflict in Middle East is not helping either. So it's a very rough weather right now. So India is a bright star with all this. Respect for India has gone, gone maybe 10 times, 100 times. Everybody looks at India. So there's a good part. So yeah, so we have some very, very good officers and some not so good officers, and there is always something to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
It was a real pleasure.
Thank you.